Good everyone and welcome to this video. Today we have another episode in the Rare Vehicle series, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Boomerang Mark II. So this is a vehicle that was removed quite a while ago, to be honest. And it only really comes back when the Australia Day really happens. And it normally comes back for around about 1300 Golden Eagles, if memory serves, or something like that. So what's the difference between this and the Mark I, which is still available? So not a lot really changes. Mainly it's a slightly different paint job, I believe a slightly different exhaust, and the other major thing is it actually gets access to a couple of bombs. Now these bombs aren't great, but it's at least something. Other than that, nothing really changes about the Boomerang Mark II. I mean, it does get a really nice newish model. Obviously, this was remodeled when... I think it actually got remodeled when it got removed, to be honest. But, yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one, to say the least. But, it's unique. That's one thing going for it. But it's sadly not very good. It used to be pretty fun to fly. Those of you may remember when I first got a test drive for the Mark I, and Harry took me out in his Akutan with it, and we actually clapped pretty hard in this thing. And obviously having a zero as backup is always nice, but the major problem is they've kind of nerfed the flight model a little bit more, and the engine overheats a little bit more, and it's not competitive anymore. I'm sorry to say. I mean, it's never really been a top tier fighter, but like, it's one of those where, like, you can definitely see where the changes have really affected it. But still, we do get access to 2 Hispano Mark II cannons with 60 rounds each, and then 4 7.7 Brownings with 1,000 rounds each. Quite a bit, as you can imagine. Now, for obvious reasons, this doesn't mean we're going to get a great engine. We get 1,200 horsepower at the Pratt & Whitney S3 C4G, and, yeah, this is, we're not going to be running it at a 1,200, let's put it that way. We're probably running it around the 900 to just under 1,000 with the temperature management. This, sadly, is not a great aircraft for, temperature management, and, well, that's what majorly lets it down. And of course, coming over to the armor, we have a really strange, tub around the fuel tank, which is pretty interesting. Like, it's not going to provide much protection, but it's at least something. We then have a little bit of armor for the pilot, and a little bit of frontal armor for the pilot as well. Overall, not too shabby, but obviously it is a fighter, and it is War Thunder, so the wings will snap like a twig before the armor in the cockpit even comes into play. But this will be the last aircraft for Britain, and then we'll be moving on to some Japanese ones, which, for memory serves, is only like 1 or 2, but I digress. Let's get a move on, and let's get cracking. Oh, I'm looking... I've had a couple of matches to, get back into the swing of things with this aircraft about a week ago, and, yeah, nothing's really changed. It's still not great, I'm afraid to say. And that is just how it goes, I'm afraid. It's not great, but, it's got character. And those of you that know me, I like a little bit of character. Also, it gives me a chance to train up a lower level crew. As you may notice, I'm on a level 19 unexperted crew. Might as well try and get my crews up, because I never really do that. I used to, back when I was playing the arcade mode a lot. But, it's something to consider. Mr. Hands. That reminds me of Pokemon, what we nicknamed the Iron Hands EX. And there goes about 20% of my audience wondering what the hell am I on about. Alright, so let's have a look at the BR. Not too bad, I've seen worse, but... I think we'll be okay. Right, since I'm probably going to have to drop the WEP a few times along the way, I'm going to get us into the match, because this thing isn't very fast. See you in a few. Well, welcome back, even with my best attempts at climbing and making sure the engine doesn't touch the overheat just yet. We've still got guys above us, which mostly inform, well, mostly aircraft that are better than us. Obviously he gets an air spawn, so that don't really count. I was just having some banter in the chat with that P-38 pilot, funnily enough, and yeah, he's coming for me now. He was saying that he's in a racing plane, and I said, can it outrun bullets? And he said, no, it cannot. You've got to have a little bit of friendly banter these days. That's something that keeps you going. And yeah, this is definitely an aircraft that we're going to need the extra power every so often. And as you can see, I've barely touched the web all like match so far, and it's just boiling itself. It really doesn't like engine use. Like it's really weird with this aircraft, but you know, it's never been like it had a good flight model a couple of years ago, but like it never really got to use it fully because no one really flew it, you know. There we go, scratch one. Obviously I didn't know it had severe damage already, but that's fine. The cannons are very 50-50 as well. They don't function sometimes, but they also do function. It's the old Espada Mark II, this is, on this aircraft. And there's the P-38 that I'm worried about. He's leaking coolant, so I'm hoping that will hopefully force his hand back to the airfield, which is fine. But yeah, we really can't catch anything in this match. Like, we have to let them come to us. That's how this aircraft kind of works. The problem is that when you do get aircraft to come to it, it's, you know, it's not very good at doing its fighter job because of the flight model being so, well, not outdated, nerfed. Let's see if we can catch up to this SP2M. I'm surprised people are still playing that sack of shit these days, but hopefully our cannon should be able to do a number on it. Nice hit. Here comes the P-38, who's probably going to be very angry with me. Yep, he is. Oh, he's in the E model. That's interesting. No, you don't. This thing may be old and rickety. Oh, I love that paint scheme. Mate, I need that. That's beautiful. Yeah, you can't outrun my bullets, son. Severe damage. Make sure it sticks. There we go. Ah, teammate, watch your fire. No. No, 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 no. I don't want to get shot. If they manage to intercept that SB, I'm going to be happy, because... Hold on, no, it's more like this. There we go. You've got to have a little bit of banter these days. Like, it doesn't matter if like you're having a good game or a bad game. Try and just have a little bit of banter with the opponents and even your teammates. Like, just have a little bit of fun. Who the fuck are you shoot at? I was gonna say, if you want to try this thing on for size, I'm more than happy to teach you a lesson about that. So all we've got left is that Yak 9, and I think, well, the DB3 is dead, but there's another one there. And it looks like Bell End is going to be camping his runway, so that's fine. Oh, we've got a Corsair. Where's he come from? I didn't see him on there. Alright, that's just changed things. Obviously, I'll never catch a Corsair, but that's not my intention. I must admit, though, this is, like, historically wise, this is actually quite an interesting aircraft. It's just a shame that Gaijin keep kicking it in the bollocks. Like, it's not even, like, as I say, it was never, like, a dominant aircraft. Like, no one would say that this aircraft was OP at the time when it actually had a good flight model. Maybe Harry would, but, well, that's Harry. Harry likes to call things a bit too extreme. Like, I think this, back in the day, this was a good aircraft. I don't remember this aircraft too well because no one fucking flew it, but, you know, it's It's one of those things, really. And plus, back then, I was mainly an arcade scrub because I was still learning the game. I was awful at it, but that was years ago. Nowadays, I'm at least competent, I would imagine. Hello there, Mr. Corsair. I really don't want to get in front of your guns, but, well, you're in my airspace, and I have 26 cannon left. Alright, we're doing this the old-fashioned way, the plinky-plink. Which this aircraft does very well at, because I have 4,000 rounds of MG. Now I know someone's going to say in the comments, Joe, you're actually outturning something. Yes, this thing can still outturn stuff, but that's a big heavy Corsair, that doesn't exactly count. Right, let's do the traditional move of going after bots now. As you can see, you just get so much ammo, like, you really don't need to fanny around with anything. You literally, if you survive the match, like, you can just, you know, like, get a load of bot kills, light ground targets, you know, it's actually not the end of the world. It's actually pretty dang useful. Okay, what's happening over there? Looks like the DB3 is still camping that runway, so that's going to be annoying. I think he's actually left the airfield boundary now, so I'm going to clean up a couple of ground targets. I would demonstrate the bombs, but that means I have to go back to base, fanny around with that, and yeah, I don't really want to, you know, it's a bit of a faff. Alright, let's get in and let's go and have a look. Is he crash landing? Yes, he was. And that is the end of that. Not a bad little result. 3 air kills, player 1s at least. 5 grand and or air, 1 assist. I also do like the fact that they've combined that now to, you know, like, how can I describe it? Like, they've put it into 1, but it still counts as player kills. No. Good, I don't need any more talismans. I've already got that Yak 9 UT to attend to later. But there we go, not a bad little match for the Boomerang Mark II. I still, unfortunately, am going to have to give this the turd with the $sign on it, because sadly it's just not the best anymore. I mean, it never was, but like I said, this is an aircraft that has been repeatedly kicked in the balls by Gaijin, and unfortunately, just means I won't be flying mine very much. Next up in the series is, I believe, the only rare plane other than, well, obviously, the Co is now here, but I forgot to put this back, the Kai 21 High, which I am debating putting this in the event vehicle series, but let me know what you think in the comments. Should I put this in the event vehicle series or leave it in here? It would kind of disbalance everything, but obviously with this being kind of rare on a marketplace now, I think it falls into this category, but it also falls into event vehicle category, so just let me know in the comments. Otherwise, it's going to have to be this, which has really fallen from grace. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all to it for today. Really hope you enjoyed seeing the Boomerang Mark II as part of the Rare Vehicle series, and I will see you all on the next one.